This new Bluetooth hack can totally hijack your wireless headphones, and in the wrong hands, it could be an absolute menace to society. Also in your hacking news roundup, Logitech accidentally bricked millions of mice and how Telegram can leak your IP. But first, hundreds of millions of Bluetooth headphones and earbuds that support Android's fast pair standard are vulnerable to whisper pair, a sneaky newly discovered hack. So fast pair is a Bluetooth standard made by Google, enabling you to connect your Bluetooth headphones to your Android phone with a single tap. It's supported by everything from cheapo earbuds all the way up to expensive headphones. But the majority of devices that support it are vulnerable here, and you can't get away from this by using an iPhone. This applies based on whether your headphones support fast pair, even if you don't use it. And if anything, whisper pair is far worse for iPhone users, but we'll get to that. In fairness to Google, the problem isn't fast pair itself, but the fact that most manufacturers don't implement it properly. If, let's say, a set of headphones isn't in pairing mode, it's meant to ignore messages from random devices that want to connect to it. But most manufacturers fail to properly enforce this check, allowing unauthorized devices to easily pair. And unfortunately, this attack is very noob-friendly and can all be done with a one-size-fits-all script. An attacker scans for nearby devices, selects the one that they want to target, and the device is taken over in a matter of seconds. From there, an attacker has full control over it. They could ramp up the volume and scare someone half to death, which might sound like a silly example, but it's probably only a matter of time till Flipper Zero compatible scripts start being shared around Discord servers. Forget kids opening Tesla charging ports or turning off TVs at McDonald's, they'll be terrorizing society by hijacking people's headphones on public transport, playing God knows what at max volume. It's also possible to hijack a device's microphone and listen in to private conversations. But perhaps the worst part of this is if a particular audio device isn't already associated with a Google account, because it belongs to an iPhone user for example, then the attacker can add that device to their Google account, and then using Google's Find Hub they can track its location. Even once out of Bluetooth range, the target could be tracked worldwide. In this scenario, the victim would at some point get a notification that they're being tracked, but I don't know about you, if I got a notification that my own device was tracking me, I'd probably just assume it was some bug and totally ignore it. We're getting to the part of the video now where I usually reveal that this has all been patched and we collectively breathe a sigh of relief, but not so fast. The only way to fix this is to install a software update issued by your headphones manufacturer. This of course relies on the manufacturer actually issuing a fix, and that consumers go out of their way to figure out how to update their headphones firmware, which is unfortunately a lot to ask. It's inevitable that many, if not most vulnerable audio devices will never receive a patch. The researchers made a handy website where you can check if your headphones are vulnerable, but they could only test a very small handful of devices, so don't count on an extensive list here. Google says that there's no evidence that this has been actively exploited in the wild, but this hack quite literally only became public knowledge yesterday. And whilst the researchers haven't released their proof of concept scripts, it's only a matter of time before someone replicates this. The Belgian researchers were awarded a bounty of $15,000 by Google, and I'll make sure to link their full report down below. Next up, Logitech screwed up and killed millions of peripherals worldwide. It happened on January 6th at precisely 8:39 PM. Buttons on mice stopped working, scroll wheels stopped scrolling, and my MX Master's fancy haptic button thing, which brings up a ring of custom macros, stopped responding. Left and right click did keep working and you could still move the cursor around, but quite literally everything else broke. Even basic things like my DPI settings were totally wiped. It was a similar story with keyboards, all custom functionality just died, and my MX Creative Console lost 100% of its functionality and just became an expensive fidget toy. The problem? Logitech's entire lineup uses Logi Options Plus to handle everything from adjusting DPI to creating complex multi-step macros, but the app stopped responding, stuck in an infinite loading loop. Worldwide, everyone using Logitech gear on macOS had just had their peripherals bricked. The root of the problem is that macOS requires developers sign their code with a certificate. This proves that it was compiled by them and that the software hasn't been modified by some hacker. But for security reasons, these certificates expire after exactly 5 years and 1 day. No big deal, issuing a new certificate is only a 5-minute job, but for whatever reason, Logitech totally forgot about it. So on January 6th, at precisely 41 seconds past 8:39 PM, it expired, causing the app to become untrusted, stopping it from opening, and breaking what probably amounts to millions of peripherals worldwide. This pissed off a hell of a lot of people, and to a much greater extent than you might imagine, especially because before realizing that this was a global issue, many of us assumed that the problem was on our end, and spent a stupid amount of time trying to fix the damn thing. But by troubleshooting, we only made the problem worse. By reinstalling Logi options, you're deleting all of your custom settings, basic things like DPI and button functionality, but worse, all the custom macros you set up, whether that's with their macro keypad or the actions ring. And for the macro enjoyers out there, you guys can appreciate just how much time goes into setting macros up. Depending on what application you're using, macros can get really pretty complex. It's the kind of toolkits you build over months, if not years. But losing your settings really shouldn't be a problem. Logitech makes a big deal of their cloud backup feature, which keeps a copy of everything. However, when Logi options came back online the next day, some people found that before they had a chance to even restore from their backup, that backup had already been overwritten with a set of blank settings from when they reinstalled the app. This is coming from the industry leader in productivity peripherals, by the way. And for my MX Creative keypad, which would really benefit from a cloud backup feature, that doesn't exist at all. There's just no restore option. Of course, Logitech doesn't make it clear that this is their only device that doesn't have cloud backups. But somehow I got lucky. There was some config file somewhere that I didn't delete in my troubleshooting, and my settings were totally intact. But it doesn't change the fact that I feel like a total idiot for dumping a few hundred doubloons on hardware that can be rendered useless by some proprietary software not loading. And I can't even blame Apple for this. An expired certificate doesn't automatically mean that software stops working, because if the code was compiled before the expiration date, it'll run perfectly fine, unless it's packed with cloud functionality, like for example it uses Apple's push notifications, which Logi Options does for some stupid reason. The Logitech reps on Reddit were profusely apologetic and really absorbed a lot of the hate here. But if you're going peripheral shopping anytime soon, really think twice before buying Logitech. Next up, security researchers have identified a design flaw in Telegram which, with a single click, leaks your IP address to an attacker. As soon as you tap on what looks like a regular link to some Telegram profile, an attacker-controlled server is instantly pinged with your IP, and there's no way to tell that this seemingly innocent link is really just an IP grabber in disguise. This is made possible by a little-known feature in Telegram that allows you to share proxy server settings, useful if you live in a country that does censorship so you don't have to manually type out a bunch of settings. But it's possible to embed these links within any arbitrary username, disguising it as just some link to a profile. After tapping one of these links on either Android or iOS, you'll be asked if you want to connect to the proxy, but by this point it's already too late, because as soon as this prompt appears, a test connection has already been made in the background to make sure that the proxy is valid, leaking your IP before you even have a chance to review the settings. And if you already have Telegram configured to work with a proxy, this totally bypasses that. And sure, in most cases, some stranger on the internet grabbing your IP ain't so much of a big deal, but let's not forget the context here. Telegram is still a bit of a Wild West. All kinds of cybercriminal groups have made a home on Telegram, so you could see some kind of a scenario where feds spin up a proxy server using these links to grab IPs before paying people a home visit. But as far as we know, it was security researchers who figured out how to abuse this feature first. Telegram themselves have had a strange response to this, getting a bit defensive whilst still agreeing to fix the problem anyway. They pointed out that any website or proxy owner can see the IPs of those who access it regardless of the platform, and sure, that's correct, they're not wrong, but that kind of misses the point. When you tap a link, not even an external link but an internal link to someone's profile, you expect to be taken to that person's profile, not to have your IP pinged to some arbitrary server. Either way, Telegram are adding warnings to these links, so from here on out you do have a chance to nope out. As always, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.